Now for this manual mode now, you get settings. That one wey they call exposure triangle. We get shutter speed, you get ISO, you get aperture. Now these three things now, all of them they give light, they take light. But the major one where they bring light for camera na ISO. But the meaning of ISO not even they related to photography because it means International Standard Organization. We will talk about that one later. But ISO now for light sensitivity. So ISO they control the light so they enter your camera sensor. Then shutter speed, as the name dey, shutter speed, it calculate the time wey your camera sensor go dey open. Your camera go dey open for light to hit the sensor before you close, then process the image. Now shutter speed now they use do things like if they shoot sports, you go use shutter speed, make your shutter speed dey high so that as the movement dey, you no go get motion blur, all those shakes then for camera. Shutter speed now you go use do that one. If you dey close your shutter, if you increase your shutter speed, the camera dey close very fast. And when your camera dey close very fast, you need to allow enough light to hit the sensor before it process. So anytime now how this exposure triangle dey work. Then you see aperture now. Aperture they control your depth of field. So if you want to make the background dey deep or it is shallow, you go to see them now. As I talk this, you go to see them for images where they by the side of the screen. If you want to make this thing dey deep or it is shallow, now this aperture now you go use one. And our lenses now the type of lens where you use and go determine how your depth of field go dey. If you want to get shallow depth, you go use lens we get small aperture. Lenses we get small aperture, like all those f1.2, f1.4, f1.8, f2.8, and go give you better depth of field. Even the focal length, they follow help your depth of field. Now this depth of field, what they talk, the shallow and the wide, wetin e be na blur background or to make background sharp. Now just that thing. You know when you go see picture, where background will blur. You can't find only one person go just dey in focus. Every other thing for background go blur. That thing might be depth of field. Now the background blur na shallow depth. Then if you want get the wider depth, you can't get the one where you say you go close your aperture. Now if you open your aperture, like you get how aperture dey. If you reduce the number of aperture, you go open. If you increase the number of aperture, you go close. Then for shutter speed, if you increase the number of shutter speed, less light. Like now when the aperture open, more light they enter the camera. As I've been talked before, all of them they control light. But the major one we get that light. We be saying now only light being work for camera. Now ISO. This other ones too they add for light. But ISO now be light. Then your aperture now, if you open them, it dey like when you open your eye. You get one small this thing now way I go tell on a man to do. If you dey, just carry your hand like this. Cover your eye. You go see more, you go get more details because less light they enter your eye than when your eye dey like this. Just try them on your own as a day house. Then drop comment for the video description. Just drop your comments. Tell me what you think, whether it work for you or it no work for you. So now when they close aperture, less light they enter and they get more details. Like it they pick wider range of focus. Then for shutter speed, when you increase the number of shutter speed, the camera they close faster. So less light they enter the camera than when the camera slow. If the camera close slowly, more light they enter and it record more things. Because now if the shutter they slow, if person they run, you go see that motion blur. If they do long exposure, now you go use capture only car light. The car then go pass, you no go see the car, but you go see all the light. If you go shoot for water now, waterfall, when you shoot, you go see the water go come dey like say it's smooth. Now slow shutter, then they used to do all those things. You go see picture with them snap, it go be like say the person get shadow. Now slow shutter, and then they used to do all those things. But if you don't want more of those things, then you will increase your shutter speed. All these ones and now we will get different topics. We will talk about them one after the other. Then For still the camera, you get lens. Lens na that thing you go put for front of your camera. You dey make the picture fine. Because the camera alone, now, this one now here, this lens so I hold, na 90mm macro lens. All these lenses now, they use to snap small things. Wetin me I dey use this one do now, they snap wedding ring and then they do portraits. So it dey serve as my portrait lens and my macro lens. So I dey snap details. If I go wedding now, all those accessories, now this lens now they use snapper. Then see the camera now. This camera dey here now without lens. So without this lens, you no go fit use this camera. And without this camera, you no go fit use this lens. So they are two they work together now, body and eye. And these two things be.